good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And look, just so you're aware, this is an announcement. I am going to be taking 2 weeks leave from doing my regular 18 hours a day supporting the cause, okay? There are a whole lot of things that are happening right now that I need to reconsider the direction of the channel and what's going on. So from next Wednesday, which is the 19th of November, South African time, I will still be on, but I'll be just probably putting one or two videos, maybe not a video up each day. And it's not just because of me needing to relook at this whole thing. It's because of my vision. Okay, my eye surgeon has said to me I need a bit of a break, so I'm going to be taking that break. Now, one of the big things that I've been talking about is South African Airways and the issues going on there. And I've had reports directly back from South African Airways pilots' wives where they've had to go and apologize to the engineers after they fly back to that port, like Oliver Tambo, because they said they weren't doing their job properly. Now, let's remember that just last month, 46 planes were grounded at South African Airways after I posted this, because the South African Civil Aviation Authority found that they weren't doing the right thing. And in an extended interview that I've watched on YouTube, the guy who runs Flying South Africa, or some magazine to do with flying in South Africa, said that the management of South African Airways Technical needs a huge overhaul. And I'm the first one to agree. But anyway, let's get back to this article, or this video. South African Airways, almost 600 pilots are frustrated with what they regard as a lack of skills at the airline and a lack of accountable leadership. Grant Back, chair of the South African Pilots Association, said on Tuesday. The union is set to meet with South African Airways board next week to discuss its demands. Now, what's actually happening is that the South African Airways pilots are looking at going on strike because they're not happy with the way planes are being prepared for them to fly. Think about it. These demands include that a CEO with aviation experience, especially in turning a company around, be appointed, having a skills audit done, and also having pilots represented on the South African Airways board. Now, since 2017, South African Airways have not put in their books, i.e. profit and loss, where the money is being spent, all that sort of stuff. They haven't done it. Complete disgrace. South African Airways announced on Monday afternoon that it is starting a restructuring process which may lead to, and I love this word, about, okay? About, which may lead to about 944 job losses. About? It's not like we're talking 5 people, we're talking 944 people. About. What a joke. Anyway, this is almost a fifth of its 5,146 workforce. The restructuring excludes South African Airways subsidiaries, South African Airways Technical, Mango Airlines and Air Chiefs. Now, as I've just said, the guy who brings out that magazine, which is about flying in South Africa and all that sort of stuff, has said, hey, you got to look at the managers at South African Airways Technical. And you know what it's like? Have you ever this sounds awful, but you know that I say when the shit hits a fan and it just sticks. I'm going to say no more than that, okay? Anyway, South African Airways Pilots Association regards South African Airways' latest announcements of restructuring as a desperate measure. The pilot union does not rule out the possibility of strike action. This comes as the National Union of Metal Workers in South Africa, or NUMSA, and the South African Cabin Crew Association threatened the mother of all strikes due to the restructuring process, as well as a wage increase of 8% having been denied. Okay. Guys, look who's running all these state-owned enterprises. It's the ANC and their cadres. People who don't know what the F they're doing. But they certainly know how to steal. They are stealing left, right and centre. The corruption that's going on around South Africa is absolutely a legend. Look at the Guptas. And the Guptas were like, learners. These boys in the ANC who get shifted around to different positions are learning how to steal. And they're very, very proficient at it. Anyway, Back told the paper, they constantly ask us to come to the party while we see little done to turn things around. Back explained that at the beginning of last year, South African Airways pilots were told to reduce their number by 122. Over the past 8 months, the number of pilots was therefore reduced by 18% to just under 600. On top of that, after an arbitration process with the airline, the cost to company of pilots to the airline is now 10% lower. He asked, South African Airways pilots provide a 100% service by taking off and landing planes safely, tasks for which we are held responsible. So why is South African Airways management not held responsible when they do not fulfill their tasks? Well, very good question. But you got a corrupt ANC, BEE, black economic empowerment, all the rest that goes with their racist policies running the show in South Africa. So what can you expect? Why would you want to invest 1 cent in South Africa while the ANC government have racist policies which fly in the face of the Rainbow Nation? It ain't rocket science, guys. These ANC cadres are on the take. They're cleaning out the till. They're still looking for that last 5-cent piece that they can steal. That's what these guys are up to. And I'm talking about Ramaphosa, Ace Magashula, David Mabuza. You name any one of the ANC MECs, they're all on the take. Believe me, they're all on the take. Anyway, let's continue with it. And look, the only reason I can say this, and the commentators in South Africa can't, is because I live in Australia. So they can't send the big guys around to go and sort me out. And if you look at the political assassinations happening in South Africa, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I have my IP hidden. It could be anywhere. I could be in the New York. I could be in the Bahamas. You could be anywhere. Good luck finding me. Anyway, getting back to the story. So, Back said, why are we expected to keep on throwing our cup of water into South African Airways' leaky bucket? They keep on asking for concessions from us. What has South African Airways really achieved in the past 2 years? We are no further along with a turnaround plan. Now, you know how they keep on talking about this? Guys, people who follow my channel will know I keep on saying They keep on talking about the turnaround plan. It's a load of BS. It's a way of saying, give us another 6 months while we rot the system a bit more. That's what it is. It's a complete scam. The ANC is a complete scam. The whole organization is on the take. They are cleaning out South Africa, and people like Ramaphosa, the guys right at the top of the tree, will just disappear out of South Africa when the proverbial really hits the fan. They'll land up in some places like Dubai with their mates, the Guptas. And they'll probably go and have dinners every week, you know, saying, remember the old South Africa, the days where we were able to do this? Yeah. These are the people you're dealing with at the top of politics in South Africa. They are scum. And I'm talking about hippo eyes as well. Back would like to see the South African Airways CEO have aviation experience, like the CEO of Lufthansa, for instance, or the ex-CEO of another airline, someone who really knows and understands the industry from the ground up. Asked about Sir Richard Branson recently commenting that Virgin Atlantic would be open to buying a stake in South African Airways, Back said Branson would be ideal to turn South African Airways around. It has been reported that South African Airways is scrambling to obtain another 2 billion rand funding as working capital by November the 20th. South African Airways CEO Zux Ramazia, an ANC cadre who has no understanding of the aviation or tourism industry. She's a ring-in, an ANC cadre who is doing very, very nicely, and who knows what she's up to in the background, because SAA is certainly not coming back into the fold. Anyway, South African Airways acting CEO Zux Ramazia said in a statement that among the challenges faced by South African Airways are funding and liquidity challenges, the inability to borrow indefinitely without repaying debt, and high interest costs and loans. Now, in 1994, believe it or not, South African Airways was a highly profitable airline, regarded around the world as one of the top airlines in the world. And there are still a large number of pilots in South African Airways who are that ilk. They are highly professional. They certainly won't put their passengers at risk, but who knows what the next generation will bring when you look at what's going on. Over the past 13 years, the flag carrier has incurred over 28 billion rand in cumulative costs. In this medium-term budget policy statement, Finance Minister Tibu Mboweni announced that the state would pay off South African Airways' government-guaranteed debt of 9.2 billion rand over the next 3 years to honour the airline's contractual obligations. Now, guess who's going to be paying that? You got it, the taxpayer. And probably 80% of the taxes collected today in South Africa from a particular little group in South Africa. I don't have to say any more. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. At a media briefing about the restructuring on Tuesday afternoon, South African Airways Interim Chief Financial Officer Dean Frederick said, without the required funding, things would be very difficult for the airline. Well, I'm waiting for the announcement about South African Airways Technical. But we'll see what happens. Alright guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Please ring the bell for the updates. Please like and share this video, and above all, stay safe.